Warriors, welcome, my friends. Today I'm going to go over something that I really need to reveal to all the warriors out there and to let you know kind of where my time has been spent lately, where my focus has been. Lately, I've reconnected with my dad. And if you've read the Anxiety Guy ebook, The Anxiety Guy Tells All, you'll notice in that ebook I refer to him quite a bit. Him being the authority figure that gave me a lot of anxiety, that I adopted many beliefs and thoughts and behaviors from. So recently, it's come to my attention that my dad, came to me with the complaints of having massive amounts of panic and having panic disorder, coupled with health anxiety, generalized anxiety, agoraphobia, a lot of these things. So lately, I've been working with him to get him to a better place. One of the things that bugged me more than anything, and this is something that I never thought he would have brought up, was suicidal thoughts. So he came to me saying, Dennis, I've been thinking about the best way to kind of end my life. And I work with a lot of people suffering from anxiety, and it's quite rare that I actually hear these types of comments. So that got my attention, and he was thinking about what the best way might be to end his life. So he was talking about, what's the quickest way and all that. So it bugged me a little bit. And of course, I'm going to be taking on this challenge fully, but today I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've created as far as a plan for him to get him to a better place than where he is right now. And there are three main things that we're working on. One is to get him to a place where he's way less depleted and tired and fatigued, because anxiety can cause so much fatigue, so much depletion in somebody. The interesting thing about my dad is that he takes tons of vitamins and minerals. He's overly conscious about what he puts in his system. Now, how is it that someone can be so overly conscious and aware of what he puts in his system at what times and at what frequencies and such, and yet still feels so depleted? He's got the foggy view, he's got the dizziness, he's got the depersonalization. How does that make any sense? You would think that he would be one of the people with a clear mind and lots of energy, but it's actually the opposite of all that. So I came to the conclusion that, and this is fact, this is science, that anxiety sufferers and people that are currently constantly stressed out deplete their vitamins and minerals very quickly. So you can see how the more stress he's under and other people are under, the faster they move away and don't get the vitamins and minerals absorbed in their system. So we've started, the first thing is vitamin IV treatment. So we've started him on what's called a drip. Okay, vitamin IV treatments. He's going to be doing this bi-weekly, every second week. And it's a method of feeding vitamins, minerals, and amino acids directly into the bloodstream, which is used to correct intracellular nutrient deficiencies in somebody. Now, when you take something orally, oral intake of such high doses is simply not possible due to absorption limitations from the digestive process. So a lot of people say, I'm taking tons of vitamins orally, liquid-wise and such, and they just don't get absorbed. They just don't, the digestive system just simply doesn't work the way the IV treatments would. Now, IV treatment drips can be used both proactively to maintain optimum wellness and also to treat acute and chronic conditions. So the first thing we did was we've got to get Dad on a plan to take care of some of these deficiencies that he's going through. And you can see it through the symptoms, his fatigue, his dizziness and such. Now, vitamin IV treatments are very powerful. I went through them myself. I highly suggest them. And they're good for a number of things. Adrenal fatigue. stress and burnout, pre and post athletic event performance, chronic fatigue syndrome, migraines and tension headaches, fibromyalgia, depression, chronic disease, allergies, you name it, illnesses and colds. So you'll notice that these IV treatments that my dad is going to be going through is very, very powerful for not just one thing. It's great for many, many things. So as soon as that hits your bloodstream, next thing you know, you're going to find that within a short amount of time, you feel replenished, okay, rebooted in your system. So your body's craving things, your mind is craving things, and we've got to put those back in. Now, the second thing that he's working on is identity. Since I'm spending a lot of time with him, I'm constantly getting him to check in on whether or not what he thinks, what he says, and how he acts is in line with this new identity that he's trying to create. So when he's walking down the street, I'll ask him, Dad, your posture right now, does that connect to your new identity that you're trying to create? And he'll say, oh my God, you're right, Dennis. And he'll fix it. Dad, is this current shallow breathing in line with the identity that you're trying to create? Yeah, you're right, Dennis. I got to fix that. So thoughts, words, actions, his posture, his breathing, his facial expressions, the tightness, the tension that he holds in his body, the things that he says to people, all of these things need to be examined, and examined in a way where you ask yourself, is what I'm currently thinking, saying, acting, eating, places that I'm spending time in, the way I'm spending time in those places, do these things align with the new identity that I'm trying to create? If the answer is no, fix it. Because the truth is that my dad, along with many anxiety sufferers out there, will not be able to overcome this state, this emotional state that they're currently in without self-awareness. You've got to create enormous amounts of self-awareness as you go throughout the day, how you spend your morning, your afternoon, and your evening, identifying when you're slipping. So when am I slipping? And you'll notice that a lot of people slip internally, okay? They slip internally, not so much externally. Externally, they behave, in a way that fits their new identity. They go to places, they face their fears quite a bit, but the internal self-talk is something that needs to be identified, because when you think about my dad, the internal self-talk is very damaging. Very damaging. It's always based around catastrophic thinking, the worst possible scenario, over worrying about things that are outside of his control. So Dad, snap out of it, bang, right then and there. Make sure that you replace one way of thinking with another. How are you speaking to yourself? So the second thing is to correct his identity. It's to replace one identity with another. And like I mentioned, self-awareness. Now, the third thing that he's working on this plan is moving his attention from being so internal to external. So I'll break his state. I'll punch him in the shoulder. I'll say, Dad, as soon as I know that he's too internal, and I can tell he's too internal through his body language a lot of the time. I can tell when he's very fidgety. I can tell when he's doing things very quickly. I can tell when he's sitting there and, his eyes kind of get very glossy, right, and kind of wet. I could tell from his eyes whether he's internal or he's focusing on something external. So in that moment, I'll say, Dad, boom, make sure you're focusing on the trees. Notice how beautiful the trees are. And he'll go, yeah, right. Oh my goodness, they are beautiful. And just that moment, that state break from going from internal to external gets him to identify with the ideas that if something is outside of your control, nothing, the endless amounts of thinking that you can do in that moment will not change the result. Okay, this is very important. You may be over worrying about everything, concerned over people in your life and the direction your life is going, but the truth is that the over worrying habit, as much as you feel like it's been consistent and you're familiar with it and that it might be making a change in your life, the truth is that it's making no change. It's just getting you to circle around something that is creating lessened health in your body and in your mind and in your spirit. So the over-worrying habit is something that he has to correct. So Dad, every time you're internal too much, boom, get external. And getting external means pick one sense. One sense. That's it. What can you see? What can you hear? What can you feel? What can you taste? What can you smell? Just pick one sense and focus on that sense for the next 2 minutes. Now, my dad's lucky because I'm spending some time with him, pretty much 24 hours a day right now, trying to get him on this new routine and towards this new identity. But it's going to be up to you to implement these things, these corrections in your life if you don't have that person around you that can help you with this sort of stuff. So again, self-awareness is crucial, my friends. And I know that within the next 3 months, my dad will definitely move past this time in his life right now, because as much as the past with him was difficult, I know that the past doesn't equal our future. So I cannot be angry at him for the way he treated me and his family, because he was going through life with the information that he gathered from his parents and his authority figures and his repetition. So living life based around being upset or angry at an authority figure for putting you in a situation or an emotional state or all that sort of stuff, there needs to be a certain amount of expression. There needs to be a certain amount of acceptance as to what happened, my friends, if you're going to move forward in your life. Your past does not equal your future. Okay, your future is based around how you want to create it. You are in charge. You are the manager of your life. So begin managing your life, the direction, the way you truly want to live. I promise you that when you can take the inspiration from these videos, the toolkits, the techniques, you will begin to identify with someone new. You will begin to tap into the progress that will lead to greatness, my friends. I want you to be proud of your life. I want you to live a life that you are supremely happy with and fulfilled. And that's not going to happen until you take action and create that self-awareness within you. I love you guys so, so much. You are more than anxiety. Make sure to hit the bell below to get the notifications for all my videos, and I'll see you guys really, really soon. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Love you all.